Hi everybody! I'm so excited for this look today. This is the second week of the Halloween videos, and today I'm going to be doing a fairy, unicorn, something really cute and mystic type of look. We'll see where it goes. And also I'm going to be talking about greenhouse gases, specifically carbon dioxide. Let's get started with this look. Can we just for a second appreciate how the light is streaming in from the window? Anyway, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows. I put on my eye primer. It's super important to do. Okay, first I'm gonna go in with my Morphe, which one is this? So Chill palette. I'm gonna go in with this color right here. It's gonna be my transition color. Next I'm gonna go in with this brush. It's a little smaller than the one I just used. I'm gonna go in with this color. Okay, I don't know if this is the right move, but I'm going in with my Revolution Utopia palette. And I'm gonna go in with this color, that purplish one. But I'm going in with this brush right here. You can see that it's a little pointed at the tip. I'm just gonna dip into it with the tip. And I'm gonna go where my crease is. Okay, now I'm gonna take that blending brush that I used at the beginning, and I'm just gonna gently, very lightly blend it in with the rest of the colors, but I don't wanna get rid of that definition. So right now I'm gonna be taking a concealer. I'm using this one, which I normally don't use, but I'm using it this time because it's actually lighter than what I should be using on my face. And I kind of want a lighter color right now because I'm gonna be putting it on my eyes for a cut crease, and then I'm gonna be putting a very light glitter on it. So I think it'll be better if it's a lighter color. So I'm just doing the cut crease like I normally would. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about carbon dioxide today. Now, carbon dioxide is part of a group of gases called greenhouse gases. The reason why they're called that is because the Earth is essentially functioning like a greenhouse. So if you don't know what a greenhouse is, it's this building that's made out of all glass, and it houses plants inside. And so its primary function is to trap carbon dioxide inside the little house, and the rays from the sun, the UV rays, are going to heat up the carbon dioxide gas, and that heat is gonna be trapped inside the greenhouse and not be able to escape. So even in the winter, even when it's raining, when the temperature drops, the greenhouse stays at a consistent temperature that can support the life of the plants. So carbon dioxide functions in the same way to the Earth as it does in the greenhouse. So the atmosphere of the Earth behaves almost like the glass walls and the glass ceiling, and it allows the sun rays to enter. They heat up the carbon dioxide and some other greenhouse gases such as water vapor and methane. And then because the atmosphere doesn't allow the heat to exit, it keeps the Earth at a consistent temperature. And that's great because if we didn't have these greenhouse gases, the Earth would all look like Antarctica practically, and it wouldn't be able to support life the way that it does. It would be way too cold. It's great that we have something that's supporting the temperature of our environment and keeping us at a healthy, life-sustaining temperature. Now, how is carbon dioxide released into our Earth? So it's released naturally when we breathe. We breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So when we breathe out, we're adding to the amount of carbon dioxide in the Earth. The plants do the opposite. They take in that carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen for us to use. So there's this natural, really amazing cycle in order to balance out the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the Earth. But aside from just us naturally breathing out carbon dioxide, there's different ways that it's produced. It's produced through burning fossil fuels, such as coal, natural gases, and oils. Also through burning solid waste, trees, and other biomaterial. It's also produced during the manufacturing of cement. So those are ways that we as humans have added to the carbon dioxide volume or amount on the Earth. So the amount of carbon dioxide on Earth actually spiked around 1750 during the Industrial Revolution. And as of now in the US, transportation accounts for 34% of the carbon dioxide emissions, electricity for 32%, industry for 15%, commercial and residential is about 11%, and then other is about 7%. Now the carbon sink offset is about 12%, meaning that only 12% of the carbon dioxide that is emitted is actually getting reabsorbed naturally, or even unnaturally if there have been ways to absorb it unnaturally. So the rest of that is just building up into our world. Now when I say that carbon dioxide is building up, I don't want you to think, oh no, this is a toxic chemical, it's going to cause cancer and all that. That's not the idea here. That's not what's happening. Carbon dioxide is non-toxic. It doesn't cause any diseases. It actually doesn't make up that much of the air overall. It's about 0.04% of all the chemicals in our air. Most of our air, about 100%, is made up of nitrogen, oxygen, and argon. And a very, very small percent is made up of other things, and that includes carbon dioxide. So it really is not a big percent. So I don't want you to look at it and think that, oh, well, it's such a small number, so what's the concern? Well, now we have to look into how much can there be to make an effect, even if it is a small amount overall. As a side note, everyone, I'm gonna be taking my Earth and Stone Revolution Pro palette. I'm gonna be taking Barely There and just put that where I put the concealer on my cut crease. So what actually happens when it comes down to it? What happens to carbon dioxide when it's introduced into the earth, and what's the big deal? But what's actually happening is that sun rays, they are infrared radiation. It comes in through the atmosphere and it hits the molecules that are in the air. It hits the oxygen, it hits the nitrogen, the argon, the carbon dioxide, it hits all that. But is it absorbed in all that? And the answer is no. It isn't absorbed in the oxygen, isn't absorbed in the nitrogen, not in the argon, not in other things, but it is absorbed in the water vapor, is absorbed in carbon dioxide, in methane, and it has to do with the chemical structures. And I'm gonna be putting some links below so you can look into it more, so you can actually see visuals of what I'm talking about. But when it comes down to the chemical structure of these gases, some of them absorb that infrared radiation, some of them don't. And it's great that the majority of the gases in our world don't absorb that radiation. Because if they all did, if 100% of them did, I mean, I would venture to say that it would be as hot as the sun on Earth. So that actually might be why some of the planets are super, super hot. You have to look at what their gases are made up of. And if I find any information on that, I'm definitely gonna put it below. But carbon dioxide is one of those gases that actually absorbs the infrared radiation coming from the sun, and it starts to vibrate more. So when that radiation is absorbed, it starts to move. And did you know that temperature is just a measure of how fast, how much something is moving on its molecular level? So the more that the carbon dioxide molecule moves, the higher the temperature is. And so if there's a lot of molecules of carbon dioxide and they all absorb that infrared radiation, they're all starting to vibrate more, the temperature of all of them is going up. So that's what's happening. And it's great because that's what regulates temperature. That's what allows the sun to heat up our planet, because the carbon dioxide, the water, the methane, and other greenhouse gases, they're absorbing that heat and they're keeping it in the earth for us so that we're able to stay in life at a good temperature. But here's where the problem lies. The more carbon dioxide that we have, the more methane, even the more water vapor, even though that seems harmless, the more greenhouse gases that we have in our environment, the more they can absorb heat from the sun, and the more they keep heat in our atmosphere, in our environment, on our planet, and the more it heats up the planet overall. So something that's used in such a beautiful way to regulate temperature on Earth, if there's too much of it, it will be bad. It will go in the opposite direction, and it'll be just as bad as not having any greenhouse gases. And remember, if we had 0% greenhouse gases in our world, then we would be freezing, and I mean freezing, not even the fun kind of cold where you get to go play in the snow. it just wouldn't be able to sustain life. So we don't want to go too far the opposite way either and make it too hot for us to be able to sustain life here. So, as a fact, since we all live on this planet, we should all be helping in such a way to contribute to maintaining life the way that it should be on this planet. We should all be participating in the ways that we can. And yes, you're just one person. And the truth is, no, one person by themselves is not going to save the planet from overheating from a lot of carbon dioxide. You have to face that. But if you're one person that helps a little bit, another person helps a little bit, and everyone does a little bit of their part, it will start to make a difference. And we do have to look into what we're investing in. So we definitely should be putting pressure on companies to do their part too. So I think I'm gonna go in with my, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting the name, Utopia palette. And I'm gonna go in with the lightest one in this corner. It's called Enchanted. Okay, I have a white, like paint, what's it called? White grease makeup. Going in with like an eyebrow slanted brush. Oh my gosh, this might be a huge mistake. I'm gonna be doing a wing with this. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see if this ruins my whole look. Oh wow, that's way more awesome than I expected it to be. Wow. Just a very thin line. Okay, no more. Okay, I look quite ghostly. I just threw on this light concealer. I just decided to do it everywhere because I need more of like a mystical look. And I just didn't want to do my regular foundation color. Now, for my concealer, I think I'm gonna use some of that white grease paint, just to have a lighter color. So I'm gonna be taking my blush brush and my e.l.f. blush. It's got sparkles on it too, so I'm excited. This is the color that it is. It's pretty dirty, just because I use it a lot. I'm gonna be like really getting some on. Just go right over that paint. Yes. I just really want it to be pink. Like, I don't care if it looks silly. Put some under here. Oh my gosh, I love this. I look like I just got sunburned, but like in a cute way. I love this. And yes, I'm gonna put freckles on. I used to make fun of my sister so much for wearing freckles, like fake freckles. And who's laughing now, right? So I'm gonna take a little bit of bronzer. I'm gonna take my contour brush and I'm only gonna put it like in the deepest hollow of where I want my contour. So now I'm gonna go back in with the colors that I did my my lid. I'm just gonna go underneath here. I don't wanna put a lot because I really don't want it to be focused on the lower lid in this one. Go in with this brush and this color. I'm gonna take this fan brush, and these are the colors that I have. I don't really want to go in with the pinkish color. I think I'm gonna go in with this lightest one because I don't want to add more pink to areas that I don't need it. I'm gonna go right there. Then I'm also gonna go up here, and I want it at my nose, yeah. See how naturally I have a bit of a highlight there? Just defining that. I'm gonna put a little bit up there, and then right here. Yes. Wow. And then in the inner corner of my eyes. Yeah, this is the way to go. Your tweezers and eyeshadow. Now I'm just gonna blend them a little bit. I'm gonna take the spoolie from my brow product and just gently blend over some of the harsher ones. Okay, I actually decided not to put falsies on. I kind of like the more natural look that we're going with, like the naturally sun-kissed, natural mascara. And now I'm just gonna put my lip on. I think this is a good one to put. And then I'm gonna put a glitter on top of it to balance out the color correctly. I think a lighter one would be better, but I'm just gonna go with it. It might work itself out. So I'm gonna take this glitter from the Cocoa Kylie kit. And it has a brush, I'm just gonna brush it on. I just love how this turned out. I am in love with this wig, especially because it's longer in the front, gets shorter in the back, and just is poofy, the right amount of thickness. It looks like it could be natural. It's so soft, it feels like my real hair. It's not too shiny. $20, guys, $20, amazing. Okay, I actually wiped off the lip color. I didn't wipe it off completely, but just enough to where I still have some of that pink color, but it's not as pigmented. And I'm going back with that glitter. I think this is it. This is what I need. Okay, everyone. I love this look so much. So fun, so creative. You could let your creative juices flow with this one, really. You could do it however you'd like. You could even go with different colors. It doesn't have to be pink. Whatever color your wig is, you can match it with your contour, or you could do something different. It's always really fun. I hope you learned a lot about carbon dioxide and the different greenhouse gases and how they affect our world and what you can do to make a difference, and the mindset that you can have to learn science and use it as something in your toolbox to help make the world a better place. That's the whole point of these videos. So please recreate this look. Please tag me, follow me on Sarah Alexandra Videos on Instagram, and yeah, you can see more exclusive looks. I'll see you next week. Bye. Guys, I was taking photos and I realized that I forgot to put this little flower crown on, so yeah, just know that that's a part of the look.